Start with roll call. Bruce Schubert.
Steve Magazzini.
Are there any public?
No public comments.
Okay, we do have an executive session for the purpose of discussing land acquisition.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, yeah, we'll easily make this 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Easily.
Okay. Where are we? All right, Steve, do you want to start with the
Yes,
Career
so,
Technical Center update?
so the Career Technical Center update, we have the bid package 1 for the site work and the core shell is out to bid, and we will be opening that on February 20th. We are looking to have that second bid package out in mid-March. And obviously, we'll continue to develop those plans for the internal structure as best we can. We have,
Well, again, I don't think you heard me. I think I did say everything is on hold.
okay,
That budget is 100% rejected. So I think we
Okay.
need to, that's amazing. But no, I don't think anybody heard me. Obviously, we just have to hit the pause button.
okay.
Mhm.
Item 4B, which is our HVAC RTU replacement. We had presented this last time, and I know we wanted to review the 5-year capital expenditure plan. Dr. Norrell?
Oh, yeah. Yes, so Mr. Schubert, you'll recall that we talked about the RTUs, and I did share at that time that I wanted to bring back to you or put it in the packet so that you guys could see our 5-year capital improvement plan, and that we did include those. And actually, when we began the new heating and air conditioning project in 2019, at the time we were trying to be as cost efficient as possible. And so if there was a unit that was tied to the overall project that was still had 5 or 6 years of life left, we did not put those in the total project to include those. But we were aware that in 5 years, potentially, we would have to replace those. So we allowed those units to live out the remainder of their existence. And now, as they are coming up for needing to be replaced, we have built that into the 5-year plan as a total fee that you'll find at the bottom. There's also some items in talking with Steve that we are not having to do. So that cost will actually not be as much for that particular year as you look at FY25 and FY26, that we would certainly be able to replace those rooftop units that have come up. But we are carrying those costs on the overall 5-year plan so that they can be built and accounted for in the budget, just like other maintenance kinds of issues like window replacements and roofing and those kinds of things. So that's the only thing that I was just making good on what I shared last time, that I was going to bring it back. But that we have to get those rooftop units, make sure they're functional. I just wanted to show you where they were in the plan.
Great.
So
Any questions on that? That is correct. It'll be next meeting.
I don't have any.
No? Okay.
Do you have
Yeah,
any?
no, we're good.
No.
All right.
Item
That's fine.
4C is the East Aurora High School and O'Donnell asbestos abatement bid results. So we are having the windows redone at both of those locations this summer. And we have some abatement of the mastic around the windows. So we went out to bid for them, and those bid results are in your packet for the abatement of those 2 buildings. And again, that would be next action at the next board meeting.
Oh, okay.
Any
Okay.
questions on that?
No, no problem.
Next item is the E-rates bid results. So we have been very successful utilizing E-rate and getting percentages up to 80, 90% of reimbursement for those projects. We went out with the help of the E-rate for network racks, the license renewal for Palo Alto, and battery backups. So we have gotten all that information back, and now the E-rates will review and assess, and then will let us know what we qualify for. So we won't do any of this work till we get the approval from E-rate.
Okay.
Any questions on that?
No.
Next item is the Waldo Gymnasium update. So the subflooring has been put in and they have the surface done. And so now we are in the middle of putting out the varnish on the flooring as well as painting the lines. We will continue to work on that through this week. And then the bleachers are expected to be in coming up on President's Weekend.
Okay, so can we explain how we got so far behind on this project?
The main piece that put us behind by 2 weeks is the subflooring that had to be replaced. And so when we originally had the schedule, it was going to be done.
Oh, I'm sorry, Steve. I think the board president wants to talk about, like, I think this originally was planned for the winter break with no students in attendance. I couldn't remember. I know we talked about what happened to get us away from winter break so that we're now had to move it to during school. Do you remember that?
The originally we were going to look at taking a week before winter break and then
Yes.
have the 2 weeks. But when all was said and done, the schedule was not appropriate and they needed more time than what we originally believed them to have.
Oh, so the company needed more time than originally they had stated.
Yes.
Okay. And so that's how we got pushed to having it now. And then just no one thought about the odor for the, right.
Yeah, I think for the most part, these projects are done during the summer. So there
Sure.
isn't necessarily a challenge with people being in the building during the time.
Right. Because we will need, when we have a robocall going out to families Wednesday through Friday of this week. We're going to go full remote, so they'll still get instruction. It'll count as a day of school. It'll still be instruction, but it will not be able to be on site. It'll be remote because they have to finish. There was a total of 6 layers, I think. And so they're now, and we asked them to please finish it Thursday night. So they are able to do that so that by the following Monday, we'll be done finally with this. That's our last home stretch.
So I'm going to try to be as polite as possible about this. So who is managing these projects? These walls look terrible. Are these our walls? Do they look that bad? Well,
Yeah.
so really, this is terrible. This is unacceptable that our kids have to be in a gymnasium like this. Does anybody really look what's in starting a project at Christmas time? And now we're in the middle of school and the kids are missing the experience of going to school. That's not acceptable. But it doesn't seem like anybody's paying the price except the kids and the taxpayers on the east side here, because we've had cost overruns also with this job. So really, I'd like to know, please share, who's managing these jobs? Anybody?
I mean, we have our architects are working with the contractor. The bleachers were pulled out and that area still needs to be
I'm going to
painted, but the
suggest
rest
that
of
we
the
look
walls.
for some major credits on this, because this is totally unacceptable. And this business with this paint, I guess I'm going to have to go now myself And board is, let's reiterate this. The board is not paid to do this, but I guess I myself am going to have to go and take a tour of every building because I can't believe our kids are in a building like this. So I'll be
Oh.
calling Lisa tomorrow and scheduling my tours. So this is
So can
just
we-
unbelievable. Did we not look at painting these walls?
Can we advance who's ever running the slide here to what picture Ms. Johnson's looking at? Is this the one?
Yeah,
Look at-
that
look
one.
at under
Zoom
the
in. Can you
basketball.
zoom in? Yeah, Steve and I went in yesterday, and I don't think that painting was a part of the original scope of that project, but it definitely needs to be done. And that was a question we talked about yesterday.
Well, and we believe it is in there. They needed to
Oh, it
remove they were removing the bleachers, and that's what that
Oh, yeah.
area is where the bleachers
Sitting.
would be sitting. They are going to paint that though before the next bleachers are put back in.
Right.
I don't know. The gymnasium, even the walls that don't have the bleachers with them look terrible.
Then as for the disruption in teaching and learning,
Mhm.
so Waldo has already had, well, at least one day I'm aware of.
One day. And so
Okay.
they're going to do 3 more this week. So that's going to bring them to a total of 4 remote learning days. But the smell, we just didn't want to expose our staff and the kids to all day. Yeah.
Mhm.
And that's fine. The staff, should not have to smell fumes. But if we knew we were going to have these fumes, then probably the project should have been put off till this summer. I can't believe that somebody didn't know how to open a can of varnish and smell it. Wow. Amazing. Just amazing.
So how does this get executed, Steve? Do they do the whole floor at once and then
Yeah. So the floor is
off
now.
gases for how many hours? I mean, is it?
The floor is now completed and they have 2 coats down, and right now they're painting the lines. Then they have to go back and put top coats on, and there's a 24-hour cure period in between the top coat. So that's why Wednesday, the 24 hours will be to Thursday. They'll put on the final on Friday.
Interesting. Okay, well, all I can say is we'll be looking further into that.
Yeah.
I'm going to schedule my tour of the buildings. Okay.
The next item is we had an emergency situation at East Aurora High School with a hot water storage tank. It is leaking and there is quite a bit of corrosion on the top of it. So we were looking for an emergency replacement of the water tank itself. The cost does come to $48,000, which we do have in the bidding specs. We have the opportunity to be exempt from bidding in order to take care of this emergency situation. The hot water tank is needed through the building in order to make sure that the food is being provided. So we want to move forward with this emergency repair.
Yeah, I don't have an objection to that.
No, I don't. Water storage, that's unforeseen. Okay.
And then the last item is the work orders. And I know from previous meetings, we talked about separating out delivery from engineering and by category. So the items that are in the attachment break out some of those items that were requested previously.
Okay. Okay.
Do you have
Any
anything else?
questions on that?
No, I don't. Do you have anything else?
No.
Just real quick, Steve, back to Waldo. Who's managing that project?
Construction Inc. is the contractor.
All right, thank you.
Our architects are.
What's that?
FH Passion is not on the project. Our architects serve as as an oversight for the project.
Oh.
We only have FH Passion on the new building.
All right.
And Construction Inc. Have we we not had problems with them before?
Not,
I seem to remember that name from somewhere.
We just deemed them not responsible on another bid.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
But I don't know if you guys had them in the past. We didn't.
I
no.
don't know why it seemed that. Well, maybe not.
But we did just rule them out. as
Right.
And I think that's what
Recently.
we prevented them.
Yes.
We're not the most responsible bidder just recently
Just
for this next summer projects
Right, right.
because of the result of what's been going on here.
Mhm.
And they're on target to meet this timeline with
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
with the 2-week delay because of the under
Subfloor.
subflooring.
all right.
It was an old gem. Did we not foresee that we were going to have subfloor problems?
I think they did some testing on the corners, but not in the middle of the floor because they didn't want to ruin the middle structure. And the outside edges didn't appear to have any concerns, but when they started to rip up the floor is when that subfloor was rotting in towards the middle of the floor.
All right.
Okay.
Anything else?
That's it.
That's all? Anything on that?
No.
No? Okay, we're adjourned at 6:43.
All right,
Thank you.
still good. With